Seed. Meanwhile, the Cowboys in a dogfight in the NFC East with the Giants. The Eagles currently losing to Tennessee. And hello, friends. Jim Nantz along with Phil Simms. And you've got this undefeated theme again for the Colts. You got the Cowboys up and down. What do you expect today?
Well, I look at this game, and we know the Colts are good. How can Dallas beat them when they're 5-4? A lot of people believe they're better than that 5-4 record. They got a lot of emotion on their side. Tony Romo making his first start here. Everybody's excited about that. So emotion-wise, big advantage for the Dallas Cowboys.
All right, Phil, the Cowboys will be receiving the kick here, and this game is brought to you in high-definition television. It's been a long time since the Colts played here in Dallas, and it'll be for Peyton Manning his Dallas debut. He's played the Cowboys twice in Indianapolis, but never performing in the past at Texas Stadium. There's Adam Vinatieri, who will be handling the kick. And the Cowboys with Elam and Austin, the returners. Cowboys at 5-4. They have alternated wins and losses the last 7 games. In the words of Bill Parcells, trying to get over the hump, trying to get a breakthrough victory today against undefeated Indianapolis. And it's Miles Austin running it out. And the undrafted rookie out of Monmouth University in West Long Branch, New Jersey, runs it out 31 yards. Here's Tony Romo, his 4th career start, but his first start at home. And for the Cowboys on that line, Flozell Adams with the big assignment, going up against Dwight Freeney. And Julius Jones, currently 9th in the NFL in rushing, on track for a 1,300-yard season. Romo and the Cowboys have not committed a turnover in their last 11 quarters. And again, they've been on the road the last 3 weeks. It's Romo with a little toss to Jones, and that picks up about 4. That Indianapolis defense last week yielded only 162 yards, their best of the season. That was best in the league last week. Mathis is the smallest starting defensive end in the league, but he leads the Colts in sacks. Morris starting for Brackett, who is out today with an injury, a hamstring. And in the secondary, Nick Harper by way of Fort Valley State. Cowboy fans know what that means. That's where Rayfield Wright, recent Hall of Fame inductee, went to school in Georgia. So from the 39, 2nd down and 6. And another play for Jones, and he breaks tackles to midfield, and a first down. A run of 12. And Phil, what about your spotlight with the Cowboys?
Well, let's talk about that Dallas offense. And this year, Jim, the voting decision, 2006. Tony Romo, what's that's about? Just get rid of the football quick. Make a decision and let it go. Target practice. That's what the Colts are saying. They're excited about playing a quarterback like Tony Romo, who tries to buy time in the pocket. Because what's the strength of this Indianapolis defense? They got defensive ends that can rush you, and they can get off blockers when the quarterback moves to get sacks, hit him, make him fumble, and turn it over.
Big issue all season long, this rush defense, this porous rush defense of the Colts. You saw it, giving up over 5 yards per attempt, but not this time. Only 1 yard surrendered to Jones as he runs into Freeney and Morris.
You know, we were talking to Tony Dungy, and he was talking about Bill Parcells. He says, we expect him to try to run a game just like he did in Super Bowl 25 against the high-scoring offense of the Buffalo Bills. Control it, milk the clock, run the football, and just give his offense as few possessions they could possibly give him in a game.
You saw Tony Dungy already assured of his 8th consecutive winning season. That's the longest streak in the league. 2nd down and 9 for the Cowboys, just edging across midfield into Indy territory, and again stacked up after only a yard. Julius Jones running into Anthony McFarland. And there is your old boss and coach, Bill Parcells, in his 4th year here in Dallas.
Well, we had an interesting talk to him this week, and of course we asked a lot of questions about Tony Romo, and he goes, "You mean my little renegade?" And I go explain that to his coach. He goes, he thinks that every time the ball is snapped, there's a big play to be made. And he's got to learn to live and fight another day. So that's what worries Bill Parcells when he looks at his young quarterback in Tony Romo.
I'll bet he had some names for you, too, back in your early years. 3rd down and 8. And Romo with pressure. Freeney strips it away, and it's scooped up by Indy for the recovery. Cato June. Freeney coming in on the quarterback.
You saw it. We just said it, Jim. When you try to move around the pocket against this defense, they are so fast up front. They get off the blocks. Dwight Freeney coming from the outside just dips right under Flozell Adams, and Tony Romo has not had to make a decision that quick so far this year.
I just said they had gone 11 quarters, the Cowboys, without a giveaway, but on their first possession, they cough it up, and that sets up Peyton Manning at his own 49.
Flozell Adams, I do not know if he even touched Dwight Freeney on that pass rush.
Manning stretching it out with Dominique Rhodes, and he is shut down on that right side and working hard, try to salvage something, but it loses 5. And that was the first snap in Manning's career here in Dallas. The only places he hasn't played now, Oakland, Carolina, and Arizona. Jeff Saturday is his center, and a distinguished one. 103 consecutive starts between the center and quarterback. Dominique Rhodes, a former Cowboy intern. 2nd down and 15. And a completion to Harrison, and the ball comes out at the end, and the Cowboys get it right back. Jay Ratliff on the recovery.
Indianapolis runs their favorite play, the one you see more than anything else in this offense. Marvin Harrison goes up the field, comes underneath. The Dallas Cowboys, when you watch film, you know they're going to throw it 5 times a game. You got to attack Marvin Harrison. That's what they do, and they hit him before he can get to the ground. Causes the fumble.
It was Brady James who reached in to strip it. Here it is, putting the paw on it, and Ratliff with the recovery. For Marvin Harrison, his first fumble in his last 226 receptions.
It's hard to get a good hit on Marvin Harrison.
So with 3 receivers, they come right back to Jones. He's twisted down for a 1-yard loss. McFarland with another hit. The former Buck.
Well, what we asked Tony Dungy last night, are you concerned about your run defense? It's just been so porous. Everybody talks about it all the time, and he just goes, we're getting better. It's getting better up front. And he doesn't want to stifle what his defensive linemen are, and they all can get after the passer. So there's a little give and take there, and he seems satisfied with it.
2nd and 11, the starting receivers. Owens and Glenn are out. Hurd and Creighton replace. And Romo throws the slant. That was in the area of Sam Hurd, who started last week at Arizona. Glenn was out for that game. And Hurd came in with 4 catches, 42 yards against the Cardinals in that road win.
Yeah, you know, when you watch this Indianapolis defense, Jim, some of the numbers are awful. They're last in run defense. But the one thing that I've noticed, we talked to Nick Harper last night, they are covering wide receivers better than I've seen them in the Tony Dungy era. They put Nick Harper, Jason David one-on-one a lot, and they have shut down some good receivers. 3rd
down back, Marion Barber flanking the quarterback out of the gun. 3rd and 11. That's to Creighton, and for very little gain at all. Only 2 yards, wrapped up quickly by Nick Harper. So the Cowboys on their last 6 plays netting -2 yards.
They look pretty fast on defense, don't they? When
they
you sit
really
up
do.
here, and they are starting to get a little more organized. And again, the thing that's been the difference in my eyes is their defensive backs can now cover, and they can gamble a little more when they need to.
And they're without Bob Sanders, who was out with a knee injury, probably back next week. McBriar with a big leg. Wilkins the returner, and fair catch signal at the 10. So McBriar gets the job done, 37 yards. Manning comes right back out for the 2nd time. Each team turning it over once early. Access breaking news. Even manage your fantasy team by clicking on mobile. CBSSportsline.com. Rhodes remains the running back. We have not seen Joseph Adai now in the second series of the game for Indy. Manning from the end zone, pulled down by Rhodes, and he's near a first. Looks like they're going to spot him just short of it. Marcus Ware was applying the pressure. Here's the Cowboys defense, ranked 3rd overall in total defense. Ferguson, originally drafted by Parcells at the Jets. Singleton starting today as Greg Ellis lost for the season. And Roy Williams' first career pick came on a toss by Peyton Manning. His first pick was one of Manning. How about that? And the Cowboys going for the first, or the Colts. It looks like they have it. How about Indy with their approach?
Well, you look at this Indianapolis offense. It's a chess game. Peyton Manning, and they talk about they want to go to 3 wide receivers to get better matchups. And for Dallas, deep impact. What's that mean? 2 things have hurt the Dallas Cowboys defense this year big time. Big passing plays and penalties, and they want to avoid the big passes by this Indy offense.
Rhodes got the yard they needed for the first.
Peyton Manning sees DeMarcus Ware. He's like a defensive lineman playing linebacker. If he's coming, he wants to change protection.
He's coming. He's coming right in on Manning and wallops Manning. Ball out, and Glenn recovers. Well, you said Peyton saw it all along, but there was no adjustment. No one put a hand on DeMarcus Ware.
No, and I know that's what he was doing. He sees the big guy coming. He doesn't want a running back or somebody small or a tight end blocking DeMarcus Ware. He is the one person, when you look at the 3 defensive linemen and he's a linebacker, you got to account for him every play.
Boy, it's rare that you see anyone get that clean a hit on Peyton Manning. You think of the Washington game this year, especially in that first half. They got a few shots on Manning. He's only missed 1 play in his career due to injury. Now the throw to Utek, and Williams with the wallop, and the ball squirts out, but they rule him down at the 24. And Utek is hurt.
He is. When you put deep Roy Williams and let him react to the football when it's thrown. If receivers do not see him coming, he is going to get some terrific shots, and that's what that was. He is one of the bigger safeties in the NFL.
So while they attend to Ben Utek, we'll take a timeout here at Texas Stadium. Utek was able to walk off the field without any assistance. Colts come out of the break at 3rd and 5. Manning steps up. He's going to run for it. He slides for the first. That's something you also rarely see.
It is, Jim, because he's so quick with the football, he doesn't have to run. But Peyton Manning scanning the field, sees the crosser. He knows it's man coverage. And when you're a quarterback and the defense is playing man-to-man and are running with the receivers, if you get past the defensive lineman, easy to pick up first downs.
Ben Utek is right back into the lineup, missed 1 play. Manning matching his longest rush of the season to pick up the first. It's Rhodes on that right side. It's just not there for him. That's the 2nd time they've shut it down for negative yardage. Loss of 2. Newman and Spears locking it down.
Well, listening to how the Dallas Cowboys want to play Peyton Manning in this offense, I think they want to stay conservative as long as they can. In other words, they're going to stay back and make them march the football until the Colts show them that their defense will not work.
2nd down and 12. Now the slant. Wayne has it with Henry defending. Keith Davis coming in on the hit. That goes for 13 and a first.
Say it, Jim, and here comes Peyton Manning. 2 blitzers. They're free, and there's a quick route to Reggie Wayne on the backside. I don't know if he changed what he was doing. I think he did. Peyton Manning saw it. He saw it. Nice completion for the first down.
That was Kevin Burnett, number 57, who was coming in from a position, not unlike what we saw DeMarcus Ware when he got the big hit on Manning earlier in this drive. First and 10, and UTEP with a flag. UTEP a week ago with 7 catches. Here's Bill Vinovich.
Illegal contact. Defense number 41. 5-yard penalty. Automatic. First down.
That's called on Terrence Newman for the first down for Indy.
Everybody plays the Colts. There's always a couple thoughts, and they steal it from the New England Patriots. Let's be physical with the receivers. That means get up to the line of scrimmage, hit them as much as you can, and when you do that, every once in a while you're going to hit them too long and get that penalty.
We've had the football now for almost 5 minutes on this drive. And the running game right now under control by that Dallas defense. That's only a 2-yard pickup. Canty and Ferguson on that line with the initial contact.
You know, Jim, as you watch the Colts play, they control the football for long periods of time. When they do get on the field, they're hard to get out on third down situations. But Tony Dungy, he told us, hey, look, if they got to play it slow and play a close game and it comes down to the end, they're fine with that.
Second down and 8. Now in Dallas territory. And again, Manning's hit and the ball's out. Dallas recovers. No one ever touched James. Looked like the ball was knocked out by Ratliff, who had the earlier recovery. They're going to call that an incompletion? No. Calling it a fumble and a Dallas takeaway.
Ratliff, number 90, on the inside, taking advantage of the center, Jeff Saturday. Tough for a center just to block somebody right in front of him, one-on-one. Gets around and knocks it out of Peyton Manning's arm before it's coming forward. He's drawing it back, and as it's going back is when the football comes out.
So now Dallas gets it right back at the 43. And it looks like the challenge flag is out. Tony Dungy wants them to take the look and consider it.
Indianapolis is challenging the ruling on the field with fumble. Timeout.
They want a possible consideration here of that being a pass attempt. We'd like to welcome everyone here to Texas Stadium in Dallas. Early action. We've already had 3 turnovers. 1 by the Cowboys, 2 by the Colts, although this one is being reviewed. We'll be right back. No score first quarter. Bill Vinovich has reviewed. Here's the verdict.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field stands. Indianapolis is charged. Their first timeout.
So Jay Ratliff has forced a fumble. Recovered the first one as well. And another giveaway here in this opening quarter.
Jim, watch the helmet as it hits Peyton Manning's elbow. That's what knocks it out. Peyton Manning's arm goes forward. It's called the old empty hand. When the hand is empty, when it goes forward, of course, it's a fumble.
Tony Romo and the Cowboys take over at the 43. Julius Jones grabbed by the ankles by Morris. A gain of 3. Jim Nantz and Phil Simms here for the Colts and Cowboys. Some of you just joining us, and this is what happened early. Cowboys got the opening kick but fumbled. Right back, Harrison coughed it up on a reception. And then Ratliff, who had that other recovery, forced this one with Brady James falling on it. Tony Romo has been working Julius Jones quite frequently when they've had it today. And here he hits Witten. Witten for a first down. Now again, this is Romo's 4th game as a starter. He has quite a chemistry going with Jason Witten over these last several weeks.
Yeah, that he does. Jason Witten said if you go back and look, since Tony Romo has been the starting quarterback, my receptions have gone up dramatically, but more, I said, well, why is that? And he goes, when he moves around, that seems to where I get a lot of my extra catches. That time, though, Tony Romo, in rhythm, sees the receiver and lets it go. When you play against Indianapolis, sometimes it's one person, throw it away.
Jones bouncing outside with a flag after he ran for about 8, maybe 9.
Holding. Defense number 79. 5-yard penalty from the end of the run. Automatic. First down.
Called on Raheem Brock, who was going up against the fullback Oliver Hoyt. And the Colts initially thought that was going to be against Dallas. Dallas coming into the week as the, well, sharing the honors, if that's what you call it, the dubious distinction of being the most penalized team in the league.
And that is by far the biggest reason why they're 5-4 instead of 7-2, 6-3. All their numbers on the offensive side, defensive side, you'd go, they're good.
So this one, though, against Indy, and it's a first down at the 31.
No, but I was just saying, Jim, the penalties have hurt both sides of the ball for the Dallas Cowboys.
Romo going long, and he's picked up by Harper. Diving interception, they rule him down. It was intended for Terry Glenn.
Cannot make your mind up that you're going to throw a football. Indianapolis being aggressive, they double move the corner, and Terry Glenn is never open against Nick Harper.
Nick Harper has intercepted Tony Romo, and some of you joined us minutes ago on the heels of that Eagles loss to Tennessee, 31-13, with Donovan McNabb injured in that game. Joseph Adai, the rookie running back, with his first action, and it goes for only a yard. That interception by Harper ends the longest interception or streak without an interception by a Dallas quarterback since Troy Aikman back in 1999. He had Romo his first in 99 passes. Second down and 9. 4 turnovers in this first quarter, 2 by each side. The fake, the pass to Wayne, and makes the grab, but he's out. Incomplete. Yeah, looking at Harper with that interception. Last night we asked him about that fumble recovery and near run back in the playoff loss to Pittsburgh. Have you thought about it many times? Have you looked at it many times?
Well, he says every day. He said it took me 3 months to get over it once the season was over. And when you asked him, how many times have you seen it? And his answer was at least 1,000.
At least 1,000 times. Said he could not sleep for a month. He knew he was so close to breaking it for what would have been a win to move to the AFC Championship game. 3rd down and 9. And Harrison knew that he needed to stretch it out, but he's still shy of the first. Sure-handed tackle by the veteran Aaron Glenn.
Well, it's a blitz by the Cowboys. It's a nice job by Marvin Harrison and Peyton Manning seeing the blitz. And when we talked to Peyton Manning last night, I said, what's your one fear when you play this game today? My fear is that we can't protect if they can get pressure on me with 3 or 4 pass rushers. Well, so far, they've done it.
Terrence Newman set to return this one near midfield. It's Hunter Smith with the boot. On the run, what a collision. The ball popped out of bounds as Kelvin Hayden put a vicious hit on Terrence Newman. But he's up, and the Cowboys are in plus territory at the Indianapolis 47. Over 7 times they won it on the kick by O'Brien. And Tom Landry, remembered here. Man who has called more Super Bowls than anyone in history. Our dear friend Pat Summerall, including Super Bowl I with Ray Scott, Frank Gifford, and Jack Whitaker, the broadcast team for CBS the first year out. Super Bowl I. There's Julius Jones, the Cowboys starting from the 49.
When you play a defense that's fast, that wants to react and just attacks you, that's what the Indianapolis Colts do. If you're the Cowboys, what you'd like to do to slow them down. Everybody tries it. You throw screens and you run draw plays to slow the defensive line down.
You surprised by all the mistakes we've had here in this first quarter as it draws to a close?
Well, yes, anytime you see this many mistakes, but as you watch the field, Jim, you can see there's added emotion, and both teams are fresh and fast.
They won't have to walk far to switch sides. That's the end of the first quarter with no score. You're watching the NFL on CBS, home of Super Bowl 41. Second quarter about to get underway. Jim Nance and Phil Simms. Undefeated Indianapolis taking on the 5-4 Cowboys, who have it at the Colts 47, and Romo finds Jones for the second time, and he's fighting but going to come up about a yard shy of the first. 3rd and 1 on the way. Tony Romo taken over on October 23rd in the second half, the game against the Giants for Drew Bledsoe. And already with enough attempts to qualify in the passing stats, he's second in the league in quarterback rating behind Peyton Manning. Undrafted out of Eastern Illinois, where he was the 3-time Ohio Valley Conference Player of the Year. 2-1 record as a starter, but his first time as a starter at home. We're not talking about a rookie here. We're talking about a guy that learned the system, paid his dues in his 4th year. 3rd and 1, and he finds the first down with Witten.
And as you watch that last play, Jim, you see an experienced quarterback faking the defense off, making them look one way, because when you play the Colts, when they play zone coverage, you want to look to your left. That's what he did, and then the receiver has a chance to open up to the right. But Tony Romo, you said it, Bill Parcells, he's not a rookie, so I don't treat him as a rookie. My expectations for him are very high. In other words, they've worked on him and groomed him and got him this way for 4 years, and they expect results. Big on preparation, big on trial and error, and breaking down film of other quarterbacks, and just learning and adjusting. Try to run it into the line for no gain. Talked about how he's really changed a lot of his throwing motions and footwork. And there you see, he's also quite an accomplished golfer. He attempted to qualify for the Byron Nelson tournament here, shot 69 back in 2004, just missed out, and came close in some local qualifying, not sectional qualifying. That's the first stage of it for the U.S. Open, shooting 36-hole scores right around even par. Well, all I can say is don't let him walk up to the first tee on you and say, hey, I'm a 5 handicap. He is a scratch golfer, and he's done it in big tournaments. That's impressive. 2nd down and 10. And Jones again can't find any open space. No gain. We've got an update, though. James Brown in New York.
Jim and Phil, as you guys recall, Donovan McNabb being injured earlier today on this play here as he gets run out of bounds to the right. Our own Charlie Casserly reporting Donovan McNabb, torn right ACL. He is out for the season. So Donovan McNabb, unfortunately, lost for the season to the Eagles. Back to Jim and Phil.
Wow, thank you, James, for that sad bit of news for Donovan McNabb. His season apparently over with the ACL injury today and the loss against Tennessee. Cowboys with 3rd and 10 at the 29. Over to Witten. It's only a 4-yard gain. Kelvin Hayden bringing him down, the tight end, quickly. So out comes the former Colt kicker Mike Vanderjagt, signed in the offseason, signed in March. Colts all-time leader in field goals and points. Tony Romo is the holder. This will be a 43-yard drive for Vanderjagt.
There's got to be a few nerves involved in this. Reds team.
And off the upright and no good. And one of the Colts looked like Darrell Reed just catching up with an old teammate. Vanderjagt misfiring from 43. The Cowboys 4 possessions, all 4 drives, advanced to Indianapolis territory. You saw Vanderjagt stewing over that miss from 43. But the Colts have it now from the 33. Little mix-up with Addae, the rookie running back, and Manning flings it way down the field for a hookup with Harrison and a flag. Went for 15 yards, but a penalty.
After the pass was thrown, personal foul, roughing the passer. Defense number 96. 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
This will end up giving the Colts a net of 30 yards with the 15-yard completion and the penalty.
Peyton Manning steps up in the pocket. That's tough. That was a little bump, there's no question. It was after Peyton Manning had thrown the football. Plenty of time for the defender to see that he can't take the hit, but it was I think it's a bad call. That's simple.
That was barely any kind of whiff of a contact.
If Peyton would at least fell down or something, you go, oh, okay.
So first down from the Cowboy 36. And they'll run it with Addae. And Addae into the secondary and dragged down at the 19. I'm now looking out there. Remember Terrence Newman took that hit on the punt return. He's not out there right now. This is Aaron Glenn at the bottom of the screen. And he's being blocked by Marvin Harrison and sealed off on this run.
Well, Joseph Addae, what he gives this offense from the running back position, he gives them speed, the ability of a running back to take it and make big plays.
Saw Newman looking on from the sideline. Addae, a Texas kid by way of Houston. And he's got some friends up this way to come watch him play. A whole group of friends and family from the Sharpstown area down in Houston. Tell you, you want to really find out something about someone's character, you often just have to know about those who you call your closest friends. And for Joseph Addae, Lawan Moore, you saw him. His best buddy is here. And that was Addae again with a flag down. You saw Lawan Moore. They were teammates together at Sharpstown High School. And Lawan was injured, was paralyzed in a game their junior year. But these two are so close, like brothers. And when Addae was attending LSU, he'd have Lawan for a visit on numerous occasions, had his entire dormitory room converted so that it was accessible for Lawan. And he is absolutely tickled to have him here today to see him play for the first time as a professional.
There are 2 fouls on the play, both by the defense. Offsides, defense, 12 men, defense. 5 yards, repeat second down.
We first met Addae 3 weeks ago in Denver, and he was already telling us that far out how much he looked forward to the game coming back to the state of Texas, but primarily because it meant that Lawan was going to be here to see him play.
That's right. We went to the hotel last night to visit the Colts, and Lawan Moore was just arriving with us, and we had a nice chat with him, and he's hoping to go back to the University of Houston to finish his education, so we hope that works out for him.
Addae said he would, of course, love to win here today, but he would love to score a touchdown for his buddy. Here he is, Addae up the middle, and he's fighting for it, chugging along to the 5. It'll be first and goal to go from there.
A lot of rookies, when it gets this late in the year, they start to slow down. But Joseph Addae, that is not the case, because they alternate him along with Dominic Rhodes, so he hasn't had to carry the whole load. And as you watch, when you follow the Colts, he is getting faster and better as the weeks go by.
So 1st and goal. Colts set up to score first. It's a dive. Driving and into the pile at the 1. It'll be 2nd and goal from there.
2nd and goal at the 1.
Backed up for a loss. Roy Williams coming up quickly.
I know Peyton Manning's probably going to himself. He's upset. Probably should have thrown it because the Dallas Cowboys are very tough when it gets inside the 5-yard line. Bill Parcells will do everything, sell out to stop the run and make you try to score by throwing the football.
You may have seen the numbers, crazy numbers on 3rd down. Best 3rd down quarterback in the league by a mile. 14 touchdown passes and no picks. And he's got a 3rd and goal right here. Manning fires and he's intercepted. It's Roy Williams trying to hit Dallas Clark.
Dallas Clark fell down as he was coming inside.
Our 5th turnover of the game. Dallas with the interception at the goal line.
NFL on CBS is sponsored by FireDog, now available at Circuit City. For all your home theater installations, PC services, and more, the experts at FireDog are ready to help. FireDog, call and we'll come running. And by the all-new Honda CR-V. It's something new to crave from Honda.
We had just mentioned that Peyton Manning had not been picked off on 3rd down all year, but Roy Williams steps in. He made contact with Dallas Clark, but it appeared to be contact before the pass was released. Perfectly legal. Marion Barmer is in the backfield. And a procedure penalty called first. Phil.
Offense number 82. After this is the goal. Still 1st down.
Jim, we talked about it. You want to be physical against the wide receivers. Dallas Clark comes up to Roy Williams. He pushes him inside the 5-yard lines. He makes contact. He's going down before Peyton Manning lets the football go. And Peyton Manning knows there's a push-off, but it was legal. Or a chuck.
How about Roy Williams? Again, we said it earlier, his first career interception was of a Peyton Manning pass, and he also picked them up, he told us one time, in a Pro Bowl game. He hasn't faced him many times, but he's got a collection of 3 now.
Offside. Defense number 93. 5-yard penalty. Still 1st down.
Here's the one we were talking about. In regular season play, it's the last time these two tangled back in November of '02.
Yep, Roy Williams, rookie year. So not many people can say they've had success against Peyton Manning. Roy Williams, one of the few.
Roy Williams, as you said, a rookie in '02, but one of only 3 Cowboys dressed today who was a Cowboy before Parcells came on board in '03. Romo's going to take off and duck under at the 15. Lozelle Adams and Gerard, the other 2 that were Cowboys pre-Parcells that are on the field today. So it's been a whole turnover. It's interesting as you see T.O. in the frame here. He has not been thrown to in this game.
Well, when you play the Colts, a lot of times, Jim, it's hard to throw the football outside because they put a corner and they put another defender against both wide receivers. So a lot of times when you play on offense like the Cowboys today, it's the tight end and the running backs who have to get it done in the passing game.
It's 2nd down and 2. They're going to get Barber a carry here. And he's able to fight. That's why he's a goal line short yardage guy for just that reason, but he's still half-yard shy of the 1st.
When you watch this game so far today, can you believe that the Indianapolis Colts are last against the run? in the NFL?
You wouldn't know it so far, would you?
No, Dallas Cowboys. They're the 5th best. So the Colts kind of getting things in order on the defensive side, especially with their defensive line.
The defensive unit that's allowed 159 rushing yards a game, the most by a team with a winning record since Cleveland back in 1979. And that is a big penalty right there against the Cowboys, and Flozell Adams goes from 3rd and a foot.
False start. Offense number 76. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
And again, the most penalized team in the league. Well, coming in, it was not only Dallas, but Detroit and Washington. All was 68 apiece, tops.
Jim, it tells you about their talent as you look at the Cowboys. Look at the records of everybody else. Minnesota hanging in there with a 4-5. They lost today, but usually when you're one of the most penalized teams in the NFL, bad situations, they lead to worse things, turnovers usually.
And already with 5 flags against them so far in a quarter and a half. 3rd down, and they still get the first. It's Owens with the grab in traffic. Goes for 10 yards.
Nothing coming easy for the Dallas Cowboy offense. Terrell Owens on the outside. What he has going for him, that he is a big receiver. You heard it last night. There he is against Nick Harper. Nick Harper trying to take it out, and I tell you, it's almost a good job. But Nick Harper says T.O. loves to push off, and why not? When you're bigger than the guy that's covering you, pushing.
He just moved into 16th all-time in receiving yardage. 4th all-time in touchdown catches. And on 1st down, they're going right back to T.O. across the 40. And again, it was Harper defending. This one goes for 21.
Inside throwing routes. That's what the Colts will give you when it's man coverage on the outside, because they're going to stay to the outside of the receiver no matter where that receiver lines up. Tony Romo looked to his left. He turns and throws it right on rhythm to Terrell Owens to the right, and that's a nice throw and catch.
And that's the longest play for either team. Boys again started back inside the 10 off the interception. Barber pushing away from one of his own teammates and able to gain 6. I tell you, there has been, I mentioned earlier, the chemistry with Romo and Witten. Same too with Romo and Owens. 21 catches since Romo took over at quarterback. 15 of them are going for 1st downs. And there have been other ones that, well, his numbers could have been significantly increased, but he had some drops in that stretch too, most notably the one against Washington, a deep ball. 2nd down and 4, and Barber with contact right away by Buffet. We got an update in New York.
Hey, Jim and Phil, the Green Bay Packers just gave us the latest information on their quarterback, Brett Favre, hit here by Teddy Bruschi. Right arm, numbness and weakness in that right arm. No MRI is planned. He could have gone back into the game, according to the Packers. They erred on the side of caution. He is expected to play next week. Back to Jim and Phil.
All right, thank you, JB. Again, for some of you may have missed it a short while ago, with word coming out that Donovan McNabb is lost for the season with a torn ACL. Timeout called by Indianapolis with 3:15 to go in the half. These are 2 of the 4 highest scoring teams in the league. We've got no score, though, 2nd quarter. Dan Shannon and Boomer with all the analysis on the Sprint halftime report. The Cowboys, you see, have had good success on 3rd down, but the Colts are even a better story on 3rd down this season. So 3rd and 5 for Dallas. That pass too steep for Patrick Creighton.
Almost pass intended for number 84, Patrick Creighton, incomplete. 4th down.
little tough to be on target as a quarterback. Watch Dwight Freeney. He's gone outside a couple times today. This time he goes in, and if Tony Romo doesn't catch it and throw it immediately, he is going to get sacked.
McBriar in. He already has this season 6 punts that have traveled at least 60 yards, most in the league. He's not looking for anything of that length right now. And that gets the job done. Down to the 10-yard line. Wilkins with the fair catch. No score. It's the most outrageous episode ever of TV's coolest comedy, How I Met Your Mother, tomorrow on CBS, America's #1 network. Indianapolis from the 12 with Rhodes the running back. Newman remains out of the Dallas secondary. Play action, setting up the screen, and the pass is batted down. A very active half here by the Dallas defense, and that was DeMarcus Ware, I think, who had a hand on it.
One thing you could say about this Dallas front defensive line, they are big. So that's what they're using in their favor. They are pushing the Indianapolis offensive lineman back, getting in Peyton Manning's way, making it tough for him to see where to throw the football.
2nd down and 10. Rhodes trying the left side for the first time today, and it gets 9 yards.
Dominic Rhodes on the carry.
Dylan Gandy with one of the key blocks on that run. The first time Rhodes has seen any daylight.
You know, Jim, you talked about Terrence Newman not being in the game. Him not being in here, what it does, it helps out the Colts. So they don't have to change their strategy. They were worried about putting a tight end, Dallas Clark or Ben Utek, outside, and all of a sudden they got Terrence Newman lined up against them. That favors the Dallas Cowboys. So the Colts were going to use 3 wide receivers with him out. Now they don't have to worry about those matchups anymore.
It's 3rd and 1. Newman wanting to get back in there. He's got the helmet screwed on. It's a dive, and a rookie right to the first down yardage for the first. Cowboys reporting that he was, well, what we knew, shaken up, but they do say they expect him to return. He's still a little bleary-eyed after that hit. No score at the 2-minute warning. First down for the Colts. 2 minutes to go in the half. And Manning throws it at the feet of Terrence Newman. That's right. He returns just after we mentioned he had been absent since that punt return. Now I can understand the Jets and the Bears were scoreless at halftime today, but I didn't expect the Colts and the Cowboys.
Well, yeah, I didn't expect it to be low scoring either like this, Jim, but what it tells you, anytime you don't see scoring in the NFL, you know who's winning the battle? The big guys. That means the defensive linemen are dominating the offensive linemen. None of the small guys can get it done, and that includes Peyton Manning.
Tarek Glenn leaving early.
Offense number 78. 5-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
Cowboys 3rd in the league in scoring. There you see it, ahead of Indianapolis by a fraction. 3rd and 4th in the league, producing nothing to this point.
And what you're also seeing is offensive linemen that are jumpy because the pass rush has been there for both sides, Dallas and Indianapolis's defensive line.
5-yard mark off, 2nd and 15. Look in the middle and has the connection with Harrison. And look at Roy Williams knock him down.
You talk about mobile quarterbacks. We don't ever say enough about big quarterbacks. Peyton Manning, 6'6", stands in there, and because of his size, hangs in there and makes a tough throw over the middle.
That went for 19, right back to Harrison. And the hit by Aaron Glenn keeps him short of the first by about a yard.
What makes this Colts offense so good? Experience, talent. They've been doing the same system for so long, but more importantly, they never ease up.
Looking the other side, and that was in the area of Moorhead. Aaron Moorhead, the intended target. 3rd and 1 on the way.
You know, Jim, if you're a defensive player, you know, you play against a lot of offenses, you know, okay, certain situations are going to run it. It's going to be by the book. Well, the Colts, it's always, let's move forward. Let's keep going. They keep pushing the issue. That makes a defense uneasy.
Colts have 1 timeout. They need 1 yard to keep the drive going. The die shakes off Newman and picks up the first. Newman came crashing through and first made contact well in the backfield.
Terrence Newman, they call that the Cobra Blitz. Trying to strike while the quarterback is not looking. Perfect timing. Not able to make the tackle.
Manning is hit after the throw, and that was again back to Moorhead. Pressure from DeMarcus Ware.
DeMarcus Ware moving around against Dean. Ryan Dean, the right tackle. He usually is on the offensive left, but the Cowboys said they were going to move him on to each side to see who he can take advantage of.
You say it, Manning knocked down 4 times. Sacked on 2 other occasions. Newman threatening to blitz, and now the Colt line moves. That's the 2nd time that Glenn's going to be penalized on this series. Maybe it's going against Dallas, Manning's indicating.
Neutral zone infraction. Defense number 97. 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
Called on Jason Hatcher. Boy, Peyton Manning was excited about making his first ever appearance at Texas Stadium. Said, I will think of all those Thanksgiving Day games as a young kid growing up, watching those with my family. I'll think of all the quarterbacks for the Cowboys, from Meredith to Roger to Troy Aikman. Just curious what it's like to throw here. And of course, you had a lot of experience and so many clashes on an annual basis here.
Yeah, if you can block the defensive line, it's a tremendous place to throw. No wind, and the crowd is close to you, so you can really see down the field.
2nd down and 5. And looking down for Dallas Clark down the field, and in and out of his hands.
Peyton Manning was telling a story about being in the Pro Bowl. His father Archie was there. The other quarterback was Roger Staubach, and Roger Staubach would see the Manning family coming, and he'd go, what was his comment?
Here come the Mannings. It's like the Griswolds going on vacation.
There you go.
Both times that Archie made the Pro Bowl, 2 times. The other NFC quarterback was Roger Staubach. And the Mannings took the family along to Los Angeles the last year they had the game there, and the first year they had it in Hawaii. 3rd down and 5. Let's see if it's a here come the Mannings now. Up over the top, and he has his man at the 24. It's Reggie Wayne.
Little different look from the Colts. Reggie Wayne in the slot.
And he stops the clock at 21. Again, coming up, the Sprint halftime report. JB, Dan, Shannon, and Boomer, all the latest scores and highlights coming up on the Sprint halftime report. And he's still preserving that 1 timeout. Still holding on to it. 21 seconds. His drive started back at the 12. Up top to the end zone and over the head. Marvin Harrison with Glenn defending.
Even when you try to play safe, we saw it when we did the Indianapolis game against the Denver Broncos. The Broncos trying to keep everything in front of them, but the Colts, they'll throw short, and they're always looking for a way to go over the top. That time they had the right chance, but Aaron Glenn was all over Marvin Harrison.
3rd and 10 with 16 seconds left in the half. Pump fake, now going long, man open, and it's Wayne untouched for the touchdown. And that one little pump fake that may have froze the defender long enough.
Well, I don't know if he froze him. It could be just they picked it on the outside. That's what they do. Oh, no, they didn't pick it. They changed positions and the Dallas Cowboys both chased the outside receiver, who was Aaron Moorhead, and they let Reggie Wayne go free.
14 plays they drive it.
It was the fake screen, Jim. You were right.
2 minutes and 53 seconds without using a timeout. They take it 88 yards down the field. Vinatieri adds one more. And with 10 seconds to go in the half, Manning to Wayne. And the Colts lead at 7-0. 88 yards. They were 4 for 4 on third down situations.
Well, Jim, when they started keeping third down conversions, right now the Indianapolis Colts, and I forgot the year they started. It was back in, I'm going to guess, 1981. And they are the best, at this time, the best ever.
Looks like Terrence Newman got a little turned around on that play, too.
Yeah, it's curious to see who made the mistake, but I think it was Terrence Newman who let Reggie Wayne go.
A squib kick and fallen on quickly by the Cowboys at the 44-yard line.
Reggie Wayne here. Here's Terrence Newman, but here's the point. Everybody is on a guy man-to-man. So that's why I think it's Terrence Newman's responsibility to run with Reggie Wayne as he goes up the field. Did he see the pump fake by Peyton Manning going for the interception? If he was, that's a big mistake.
Patrick Watkins recovering that short kick, which could backfire on the Colts if Romo can get one quick completion. He's got the full treasure chest of timeouts. All he's going to need is one completion, one timeout, and they may give Vanderjagt a chance.
Well, not only that, Jim, if you get a short completion, you're able to throw one into the end zone before the half is up.
Freeney coming after him. Romo taking off, throwing on the run, and the catch made by Owens. Oh, that kick is going to backfire a bit because the Cowboys have a chance now to march out Vanderjagt.
Tony Romo made this play. What he was doing, Terrell Owens finds a soft spot, but Tony Romo was running to his right. He's pointing and looking to his left. The defense lost sight of the sideline and Terrell Owens, and he gets a big completion.
Yeah, that went for 21 yards, so this will be a 46-yard field goal try. Timeout called first by Indianapolis. Field goal attempt on the way after this break.
Let's watch Tony Romo 10 seconds before the half. He gets pressure. Look at him point to the left. He knows he's going to Terrell Owens from the time he starts moving. So that was just good acting, and it made the defense stop. Owens is wide open.
Vanderjagt has a 50-yard make this year. He hit the right upright on his first attempt in this one. Again, Romo holding. Vanderjagt better hook in a hurry. And it's on that right side. Again, no good. And again, Darrell Reed had a little chatter on the back end of it. Vanderjagt missing 2 in this half. They had 5 drives, the Cowboys, in Colts territory, but walk away with no points in that first half. Only the 4th halftime lead of the season for Indianapolis. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Sprint halftime reports coming up after this message and a word from your local station. An 88-yard drive just prior to the half as Indianapolis leading as the third quarter is about to begin. Jim Nantz along with Phil Simms, and the Cowboys had their chances again. They had 5 drives into Indy territory. Come up empty.
Well, Jim, when you look at the game, it's very physical. When a game is physical, it's gonna be hard to look good. You're gonna have penalties and turnovers, and that's what we've had here in the first half.
All right, in the first half, some of the numbers. The turnovers, 5 in all, 3 by the Colts. Manning picked once, 2 fumbles as well. Cowboys coughing it up once, and Harper with a pick as well. This game again brought to you in high definition television. And it'll be the Colts, the first to handle it in the second half. Jets kick goes to Wilkins. Dangerous return man is stopped right away at the 27. Well played down the field by Ryan Fowler. Now Manning comes out, and pretty amazing action here to start the second half on the season. In 9 games, that first possession of the second half, he's driven them down the field 6 of the 9 times for a touchdown. That's best in the league. They were best in the league last year with 8 drives for touchdowns coming right out of the locker room in the third quarter.
Jim, they take the information that they've been given in the first half, and they know how the defense is going to play all their formations, and so they adjust. They got a lot of talent. That's why they're successful on those first drives in the second half.
And Moorhead to the left, Rhodes in the backfield, Harrison and Wayne to the right. It's Rhodes. And dancing around that sideline with Wayne blocking, Jake Scott blocking. It goes for 4. The third quarter, talk about scoring differential on the season. This has been second best in the league. But you know, overall scoring differential on the season, even though the Colts are undefeated and the Cowboys have lost 4 games, the Cowboys are plus 76, even better than Indy on the season. They've won. When they've won in blowouts. Every one of the Dallas wins this season by a minimum of 17 points. Over the head of Clark. 3rd and 6 on the way.
You're actually seeing some different stuff from the Indianapolis Colts today. They're moving their receivers around. They put Reggie Wayne in the slot much more. That gives him more room. He can go inside, outside, much tougher to cover a really good receiver when they're inside.
Quickly back to the line. Marcus Ware, you see him lined up at left end. Puts all hands on deck. And the pass in traffic, and it's intercepted by Burnett. That's Kevin Burnett with the return, and Burnett is bounced out. No, they say he's in. Touchdown. Cowboys with the interception and run back.
There's pressure on Peyton Manning, so you got to get rid of it quickly. The big question is he going to be called down? I don't think so.
Well, if there's any kind of contact out there with Marvin Harrison, who was the intended receiver, and this is something that could be challenged. Dungy lost a challenge in that first half. And that's something you might want to take a look at. But it's official now. Vanderjagt to that right side adds the point after the tie the game at 7. Bouncing around, and there was contact with Harrison. Oh boy. Peyton Manning chagrined, threw the ball over to Marvin Harrison, bounced around into the arms of Burnett. There was contact. We'll be examining that again. Would he have been down? Should it have been challenged? The game is now tied at 7. Wilkins, just a minute ago, returned the second half kick, and right back again out to the 31 this time. And Burnett makes the tackle after having the run back.
Burnett catches the football. Possession. He does touch Marvin Harrison. That would make him down. Of course, we got it took a couple replays before I could see it. Tony Dungy must not have gotten enough information from the coaches upstairs to challenge. If he would have been down where he fell down after the interception.
Would have been back at the 39. Instead, put the 7 points on the board.
The pass rush did it, though. It made Manning get rid of the football very fast.
With a dive, running it left side. Cutting back and falling forward for 4. That's the first interception returned of a Peyton Manning pass since October 2003 when Rondé Barber returned one for a touchdown.
Well, very seldom do the Colts, when they throw the football, take any chances short and outside. When he gets intercepted, usually Peyton Manning, it's trying to make a big play, throwing it deep down the middle.
It was roughly 1,500 attempts ago. Second and 6. Adai picks up the blitz of Ware. And the pass in and out of the arms of Wayne.
Jim, you had talked about the last time we did an Indianapolis Colts game, we talked about Joseph Adai. Watch him right here. DeMarcus Ware, the best pass rusher on the Cowboys, and it is a stoning cold as soon as they made contact. Coming out of LSU, that's one of the reasons why they drafted him, because he could do everything.
And that was pretty impressive, wasn't it? Coach said, Coach Dungy told us, with any situation, he's always at ease, never frazzled. Manning throws, completes for the first. Reggie Wayne. Manning now 3 of his last 11 with that completion.
Good protection. It allowed Peyton Manning that extra look down the field. And the longer a quarterback gets, the farther a defense separates. So the throwing lanes get easier to see, good decisions, and an accurate throw.
That 12-yarder puts Wayne over 5,000 on his career. And it's Adai for 3.
Al Singleton, the tackle.
Joseph Adai telling us one thing about this time of year: if you win a game starting in November, you get a little added bonus, not in the check,
yeah,
but in the rest category. You get 2 days off instead of 1 if you win.
And that's big stuff. Getting 2 days off. You're getting tired. Tony Dungy, starting November, you get Monday and Tuesday completely off. It's good to get away from the game sometimes.
2nd and 7, right at the midfield mark. And they see Ware over there on that side. He's picked up, pass in and out of the arms of Wayne. Jason Ferguson, though, able to bust up the middle and apply a little heat.
Yeah, that was a well-disguised blitz by the Dallas Cowboys. And Reggie Wayne, that football went right through his hands. And I got to believe, it looked like to me that it went through his hands because he was expecting contact as he was going up to make the catch.
3rd down and 7. Newman was threatening to blitz. A little audible by Peyton. And that pass influenced again by the pocket pressure applied. Jason Hatcher busting up the pocket.
Well, they talk so much about it. Can they get pressure on Peyton Manning? He fakes to one side. He's looking to go deep down the field to his tight end. And Hatcher, Bill Parcells said he was kind of anxious to see how he would come through today, replacing Greg Ellis in some of those passing situations. So far, it's been a great day for him.
It's Patrick Creighton, the return man, back at the 10. And Hunter Smith. Let this one go and unable to chase it down. That was Hayden trying to run there in time. It'll come out as a touchback to the 20. Net of 30 yards on the punt.
Straighten.
At the website NFL.com, Pro Bowl balloting is in full swing. It's in your hands, so you can vote for your favorite players today only at NFL.com. Romo and the Cowboys, first possession of the second half. The 3-receiver formation. Creighton the additional wide out. Owens snags it. Turns to the sideline trying to get away from Jason David. Bethea tried to make a play on that, but Owens pulled it down. How about Romo, what you've seen so far?
Well, just like that last play, he's adapted very well to this Indianapolis defense. And what I mean by that, drop back and get rid of that football quick. Even on that long play before halftime, he didn't wait long, got outside the pocket and gets rid of it because he knows this is unlike any other defensive line he's faced. They're faster than he is.
Got Hoyt in there as a fullback. Julius Jones getting the carry and tripped up right away. Rob Morris stepping up and making the play. He's in for Brackett today. Former 4-year starter here and former first rounder by way of BYU.
I think one thing that's probably caught the Cowboys off guard, which has thrown a wrench into a lot of their plans on offense. I know they expected to have some runs, some big runs, because everybody gets them against the Indianapolis Colts. And look what they've done today.
40 yards.
40 yards rushing.
Second down, we'll call it 9.
Colts usually give up 1 or 2 40-yard rushes a game. Not really.
No, it seemed like that. But this pass intercepted in and out of the arms. Dropped by Marlon Jackson. Dwight Freeney absolutely nailed Tony Romo.
That's what errant passes are almost always the result of getting hit or throwing it before you're ready as a quarterback. And Dwight Freeney, Creighton has no chance of getting there. It is right in the hands.
Marlon Jackson.
He can't make it.
Starting today for the injured Bob Sanders, out with the knee.
Drafted as a corner.
Gotcha.
Played so well at safety. Tony Dungy says, I think his future might be as a safety.
3rd down and 9. Romo to Creighton, and he's wrapped up quickly. Nick Harper denying the first down yardage along with Cato June.
Well, that's what they thrive on. Get you in a 3rd and more than 7 yards. You got to worry about the pass rush. You throw it short. They're very good tacklers, the Indianapolis Colts, their defensive backs.
Gives McBriar a chance to show off his leg for the first time today. His first 2 punts, just trying to pooch them inside the 20. And this is what we're talking about right here. It sails all the way to the 1 and bounds in for a touchback. 63 yards. That's the 7th time this year. He didn't want it to go quite that far. Out to the 20 for Peyton and company. We are back at Texas Stadium. Jim Nantz, Phil Simms, Lance Barrow producing, Mike Arnold directing, the whole crew on hand. Tied 7-7. Manning rolling out and just getting rid of it. It was Bobby Carpenter, the rookie first rounder, who was racing after Peyton. And you know all about Bobby Carpenter. You played with his father.
Yeah, played with his father, Rob. He was a running back, and Carpenter, first round draft pick from Ohio State, hasn't seen a lot of action, but they like him in there in pass situations. Pretty good at putting pressure on the quarterback from the outside.
His father, the former running back, not only with the Giants, but with the Oilers as well. 2nd down and 10. And it's Rhodes tiptoeing past the first traffic and getting out within a yard of the first, but a flag down. Dylan Gandy with a key block. Could be a face mask call.
There's no doubt about that.
Personal foul. Face mask. Defense number 56. 15-yard penalty. Automatic. First down.
Brady James infraction will put the football out near midfield.
Yeah, good. You said it, Jim. Good blocking up front. James gets a hold of the face mask, doesn't let go, turns the head. That is 15 yards at its finest.
And you're one that doesn't think it always should be 15.
Well, the face mask, they do have differences. The one I'm saying is roughing the quarterback. They need to go 5 and 15 when it comes to roughing the quarterback.
Second personal foul on Dallas today. Play action. Manning up top. And that's Wayne getting free in the secondary for 17.
See, a little different for the Indianapolis Colts. from the inside they got Reggie Wayne. Usually that's like Dallas Clark or Ben Utek, a tight end. The Colts, with Brandon Stokely being out, they're lacking a little speed, trying to get vertical inside, so putting Reggie Wayne inside is taking care of that.
Cowboys, of course, had that big 15-yard face mask call at the end of the Washington game. That bizarre finish that went to the Skins on the last-second field goal. Manning down the sideline, and that was in the area of Marvin Harrison, but Reggie Wayne also floating around. Will give Henry the coverage.
Well, he was trying to throw it behind Marvin Harrison, but Marvin Harrison thought that he had Anthony Henry beat, so he was going deep all the way.
Here the Colts find themselves in another tight one. A little different story than a year ago, isn't it? Manning talking about how his guys have grown up in a hurry with the close games, but never a panic around here. He says the wins, we've been able to draw on all these close games. It's been good for these first and second year players not to think that it's always just that easy. Particularly as you see Rhodes to the 33, the second-year players who last year just went through, the regular season schedule by and large with big win, blowout wins week after week.
I like how Peyton phrases it. This is the real NFL, where every week it's tight and it's close. And the Colts have been in them, and it's really served them well. They do not get nervous. They don't panic. Tony Dungy thinks in the long run, in the playoffs, they'll take advantage of all this experience.
It's 3rd and 4. Zero panic is how Peyton phrased it. At any point, just a business-like demeanor. And here it is again as Utek gets enough for the first. And Anthony Henry shaken up.
So many times, another formation by the Colts. Utek delays, comes out late, but so many times defenders chasing the guy who has the football, they hit each other.
Like Roy Williams and Anthony Henry colliding. With Henry shaken up, we'll take a break here at Texas Stadium. First down and 10 for Indianapolis at the Dallas 28. The play action. The pass to Rhodes. The man he faked it to. And Rhodes picks up another first down near the 15.
Well, I think the Indianapolis Colts have found something they really like. Deep drop by Peyton Manning. Everybody running down the field. You get the defenders, give enough space, you dump it off to Dominique Rhodes, and he can pick up the first down.
Moving inside, 7 minutes to go in the third at 7-7. Anthony Henry is back in there after being shaken up. And that's Rhodes cutting to the outside. Newman, though, able to stop any further advance. Good play that time by Newman.
Well, good play by him, but the offensive line of the Colts is starting to get a little push on the big defensive line of the Dallas Cowboys.
Rhodes, who was born in Waco, has a home here in Dallas and plans to retire in Houston. And there's about 40 tickets accounted for up in those stands today. He's out now. Adai replaces him on 2nd down and 5. Hand off to Adai. And a hard-nosed run near another first.
I could hear that from up here. That's what you call downhill running. The only way I guess I can phrase that, if you're running downhill, you're fast and out of control almost.
That was contact with Keith Davis. And Adai will stay in the game. 1st and goal. We introduced you in that first half to his great friend Lawan Moore, who happens to be sitting in this end zone, right behind the goalposts. Manning backing up, going and finding Dallas Clark for a 2nd touchdown pass for Manning in this game.
Peyton Manning learned the last time they tried to run it with Joseph Adai. They lost a couple yards. Then he threw the interception the next play. But the Cowboys on the blitz. Here they come, one-on-one, and Dallas Clark just makes a nice fake inside and freezes the defender, and he is wide open for the touchdown.
So Vinatieri will try to add the extra point. That was Roy Williams defending. The Colts, that kick is good. Dallas is down 7 after Dallas Clark hauls into touchdown. Well, Dallas Clark was the target, remember, in the first quarter. Manning got picked off by Roy Williams. They go back to that combo again, and this time Manning able to connect with Clark for the score.
Jim, same look, little more experience because they got some knowledge. The Colts do, and they take advantage of it.
Miles Austin on the return. And he dives across the 30. What did you see on the touchdown, Phil?
Well, Jim, you remember Peyton Manning told us when you get inside the 5, Bill Parcells is going to make you throw it. So look at everybody coming on the blitz. Here's Dallas Clark one-on-one. So Peyton Manning says, well, if you're going to make me, I guess I have to. So look at the space. That is too tough for Roy Williams, a safety. If you're going to do that to him, he needs to get right up on the receiver and beat him up at the line of scrimmage. Now I'm coaching.
You'd be a good coach.
I got all the answers.
You always do. Here is Jones, ridden down by Gilbert Gardner. Gain of about 7. Tuesday, Stanley Tucci stars in an all-new 3 pounds. A new medical drama. Tuesday after the unit. I always love coming down here and seeing Bill Parcells and seeing that old coach-player interaction that's still ever present.
You only like it for one reason, because I have to sit there and be quiet as he picks on me. And you're over there taking notes. Ooh, that's a good one, Bill. Thanks.
Thank you. Jones, first down out to the 45. For example, Parcells in practice. Romo. Sims used to do that same dumb stuff when he was young.
That was pretty good.
Hey, Sims, you're wearing glasses now, huh? Sure wish you were wearing them back when you were playing for me with the Giants.
Yeah, he always gets. I have to wear reading glasses now, and he thinks that's so funny.
And he calls you Philip.
Well, that's better than what he called me when I was playing.
But he did call you in a press conference this week, the great Phil Sims. Jones getting some good rhythm going here on these runs. And he is knocked back by Marlon Jackson, but not until he gained 11. And Mark Colombo with a big block on that one.
Well, this is really what the Cowboys probably expect to see. The offensive lineman and Hoyt, the fullback, pulling. The New England Patriots had great success running the football against this Colts defense, moving guys, trapping them, and catching them off guard. It hasn't worked all day for the Cowboys until that last play.
And the Cowboys getting a little confidence going on this series, and that's Terry Glenn for the first time. Jason David defending. By the way, we dug into the archives a little bit here, partner. Just to refresh everyone's memory, here's a game against the Colts. Your pass a little steep. You're going to come back in here.
Yeah, but he got me, you know, sit down, shut up. You know, I'm not proud of that, but that's the way he coaches, Bill Parcells. He allows players to voice their opinions sometimes.
You saw him there. That was a little makeup attempt a short while later. And then Jones is about 3 yards shy of the first. Rob Morris with a sure-handed tackle.
But you know, Jim, when you talk about Coach Parcells, there's so many things that come up. The T.O. Terrell Owens being here, how's he handling him? Everybody expects the blow up, but the one thing he does, just like a father would if he had a bunch of children, you got to treat them all different. You got to judge their personalities and find a way to work with them to get the best out of them. And that's what has made him such a successful coach with 3 different teams, is that he knows how to manipulate his players.
Third down and short, but got it first. Terry Glenn, he is a master psychologist, talking about Parcells. Really a genius in knowing how to read people. In this career, his 4th season with the Cowboys, 2nd most wins for active coaches, only behind Schottenheimer. 3 Super Bowl appearances, including 2 wins with the Giants. Also took New England to a Super Bowl. It's a Hall of Fame career without any question.
And the Cowboys got an excellent drive going here, mixing it up with run and pass.
Jones, Cowboys with what has to be, to this point, their best looking series of the day.
Oh, absolutely. It is, Jim. They're, like I said, mixing it up. That's what you want to do against a team that's fast, aggressive. And a lot of times you go, well, why did they do this earlier? Well, it is true. It becomes much easier to move the football as the game goes on, as the defense tires out a little.
And that rush defense starting to bend a little bit. Pretty stout first half performance. But Jones starting to expose it a little bit now. Gets the corner and steps out near another first. Colombo helps seal the side.
Yeah, he did. Mark Colombo, 75, the right tackle, turns back and makes a nice block on Rob Morse.
Well, I tell you, Jones may have stepped out just shy of the first. I mean, he was walking right toward the marker, running right toward the marker.
Well, they marked him short.
Yeah, they did. And a half yard shy, and we're in the closing seconds of the 3rd quarter. This is when they bring in Barber, short yardage. 3rd down back as well. And let's see what the Cowboys can do. They go with Barber, and he is hit quickly, but squeezes through there. Let's see where they place it. Cato June and Robert Mathis trying to close off the inside. Time has expired in the 3rd quarter, and Bethea a little shaken up. We'll be measuring, and we'll be starting the 4th quarter when we come back. You're watching the NFL on CBS. The 4th quarter is going to begin with a big 4th down play on the way by Dallas. They are inches shy of the first at the Indianapolis 19. Jim Nantz and Phil Simms with the Colts leading it.
In situations like this, what is happening in this league, a lot of teams do something that's a little deceptive. Either go outside, fake it inside, pitch it to the running back going wide.
Romo trying to sneak for it. And Hoyt, the fullback, falls on his quarterback, and they're going to give him the spot they needed for the first.
And the deception that time was that you watch Tony Romo before the snap, pointing out all this stuff. Yeah, you block him, you do this. They send somebody in motion, then they quick snap it, and he was able to fall forward. So good job by Tony Romo. Bill Parcells, how many 4th down situations you think he's had to sit over there and suffer through in his career?
How often did he call your number on a 4th and inches with the sneak?
Not many. And, you know, we just didn't do it because we had big running backs, especially when we had O.J. Anderson. My gosh, he was a pulling guard. He could hit a pile, move it forward.
Go ahead and measure for it anyway. They have it by a full football.
And, you know, Jim, since I've been out of the NFL, back then it was easy to pick up those situations. Now it's become almost an art form. It's tough because the defensive linemen have learned how to go under and defend you so many different ways that you have to be a little creative.
Owen so dangerous down in the red zone. He's lined up to the left. Decisive size advantage. He's going to go right instead. And it's Terry Glenn, who's been big on this drive with a now collection of 3 receptions.
You know what they're doing, Jim? Watch Tony Romo. 1 step back and throw. It's not 3 steps where the defensive lineman can read it, the defensive backs. It's so quick that it enables him to get rid of the football, and the defensive back doesn't react to the wide receiver if he was taking the normal 3-step drop.
Down in 3, and Jones bursting ahead for another first. Into the arms of Gardner.
Quick snap by Tony Romo again. That's part of being an NFL quarterback. Manipulate the defense, keep them off balance.
Cowboys' third best points scored inside the 20. Romo, who got a strong indicator that Bill Parcells would be going to him at some point in the season, went back during the preseason against Seattle. He went the entire way, which is very rare these days for anybody to go the entire way in the preseason. He said that was the time where I really started to get it, how to prepare. My confidence soared. He's got a 1st and goal to go. And nothing doing this time. And a loss of 2 for Julius Jones.
Yeah, I think you're right, Jim. That's when Tony Romo, that's what he told us the other day on Friday. He says, that's when I knew after that I could get it done. And he goes, it's been a tough process. You know, his fundamentals, how he throws the football. He goes, I've had to change my release. It was too low. I've gotten it higher. So my footwork was awful. And they've stayed on him. And he learned, as Bill Parcells said to us, and you mentioned earlier, he learned a lot about preparing as a quarterback because Vinny Testaverde was here, who is a meticulous getting ready for the game guy.
2nd and goal. Cowboys trying to tie this up. Romo hands it off, and Jones was clipped by the ankles. No gain. And they didn't like that call here at Texas Stadium.
What gave it away?
They've been the vocal. That's the boos that came out after the Vanderjagt field goal miss at the end of the first half, his 2nd miss of the game.
You know, I used to have brothers that used to come to the game when I was playing. I always loved it. They go, oh, we were calling every play from the stands. Really? You know, when it's 3rd and 10, I could have guessed past myself. So it's always easier in the armchair quarterback.
Timeout called by the Cowboys. 20 seconds. That's their longest drive this year. 15th play of the drive coming up. Ron Meeks, the defensive coordinator for the Colts. Cowboys load up that left side. Barber in the backfield. They send Barber out of there on a 2nd cue. Romo flings end zone, intercepted with a flag. Ball is intercepted by Bethea. But we'll check the flag.
Probably on Jason David.
Going against the Colts. It's going against the Colts. A holding call. Defensive holding on Indy.
Holding. Defense number 42. 5-yard penalty. Automatic. 1st down.
Bottom of your screen, here he is against Terry Glenn. Put his hands on the back of the receiver. Pulling the jersey. That's a good, well, that's the giveaway for the officials. When they see the jersey being pulled, well, that makes it an easy call. The Cowboys trying to protect Tony Romo. He looked it off. He tried to pump it. Still wasn't that big of a hole. The Colts did not bite. So fortunate that they got the holding call against Jason David.
Down here, this is where Marion Barber has been so tough. 7 rushing touchdowns on the season. There he is. 1st and goal. Barber dancing outside and in for the touchdown.
I would think it would be hard to be this patient near the goal line. But Marion Barber waits finally sees a gap and goes through one touch for the touchdown.
And now Vanderjagt to tie it. And the kick is good. Look at this blocking. Including T.O.
T.O.
How about that? Game's tied. Well, the Colts are in another close one in the fourth quarter. Game tied, in fact. And wouldn't it be something if Vanderjagt, it came down to one of his kicks at the very end against his old team. Wilkins running it from the 5. And almost able to get into a full sprint until he's met at the 31 by Fowler. The Home Depot SEC on CBS heats up this holiday weekend. LSU Arkansas on Friday. And then Saturday, the Yellow Jackets take on the Georgia Bulldogs. Right here on CBS. 11.5 remaining. Manning and that offense have been sitting on that sideline for quite a while after Dallas put together its longest drive of the season. And the dive is decked by Spears. A loss of 3.
Marcus Spears from the outside just gets through. What happens? They're trying to go outside, so the guard tries to get to his outside shoulder. He goes, no kidding, I'm going to go up the field quick. Doesn't let the blocking develop. Tackles a dive for a loss.
Second down and 13. With Clark in a slot to the right. With the blitz coming, Manning unloads in time to Reggie Wayne, and it'll be 3rd and 2. That was Al Singleton taking off, and Manning felt him bearing down on him.
Yeah, it's just an outside linebacker who comes late, but the timing is not good, and it allows Peyton Manning enough time just to slide to his left and make a perfect throw.
Singleton seeing a lot of action with Greg Ellis lost for the season. That was a huge loss last week.
Well, anytime you lose your best pass rusher, that's going to affect your defense. But the Cowboys have pressured Manning well today.
3rd down and 2. Fake to Rhodes. Manning fires downfield. Clark, and almost picked by Newman. And then off the rebound, Clark had a play at it as well. Incomplete, and the Colts will kick it away.
I think Terrence Newman is going to get it. But Roy Williams, playing safety, comes flying over and might knock him off. Yep, Roy Williams does knock it out of Terrence Newman's hands. Nice job. He gets both hands around it. Contact by the safety knocks it free.
And here's Newman. First time he's been back for a return since getting walloped in that first half, and he's going to stay away from this one. Smith's punt flew to the 3 and bounced in. 60-yard boot, but a net of 40. Romo coming back out. Can the Cowboys drive again? Indianapolis trying to keep the perfect season intact at 9-0. Cowboys trying to get to 6-4 and stop this alternating wins and losses that covered now the last 2 months for 7 weeks of the season. From the 20, Romo gets out of the pressure, finds Glenn at the 40. That last drive by the Colts here in the fourth quarter, it's the first time this year where they had the ball tied or behind in the fourth quarter where they didn't go down the field and score to take the lead. Cowboys stopping them on that series.
Nice design by the Cowboys on that play. They put Jason David in a bind. Who do you want to cover? Terrell Owens going deep, or are you going to leave Terry Glenn wide open underneath?
First down at the 40. Takes the quick toss going down the field, and another hookup with Glenn, who's having a huge second half. With Harper and Jackson trying to defend, that goes for 33 yards.
Well, it's a little pump and go by Tony Romo to Terry Glenn. Why does it work? How many times we showed you the one-step drop that they're throwing those slant patterns to Terry Glenn, Terrell Owens. So the defenders, they've seen it enough. Nick Harper says, I know that play. And when he makes the effort to break it up, Terry Glenn goes up the field.
71 yards in this half for Glenn. Back to Jones, who hurdles ahead for 9. Thanksgiving Day, we will be in Detroit with the Dolphins coming in. 3 straight wins. We'll be there for Miami and Detroit. And it all gets started with a special Thanksgiving Day edition of the NFL Today with JB and the crew coming up this Thursday. The NFL on CBS. Second down and 2. Freeney is out of that defensive front at the moment. Cole Schulter replacing him. And Jones squirts ahead for the first down.
Jim, I talked about it. When you get a little tired, sometimes your discipline goes away too. And if you're not disciplined on defense in the National Football League, it creates a running lane for running backs. And right now, the Dallas Cowboys, they're finding some running lanes against this defense.
Julius Jones with 53 yards in this half. 80 for the game and another handle. And he'll surrender a yard. Rob Morris stepping up to make the hit.
Well, that was just attack the line of scrimmage by the Colts defense. Statistically, they're having a rough year, but one of the things I notice when I watch them is that they are willing to be aggressive, more aggressive, covering guys outside, charging the line of scrimmage, trying to give you negative plays to get you in a situation where you've got to throw it. And then look out, Dwight Freeney, Robert Mathis, good pass rushers.
Second and 11. Freeney back out there. Mathis had set down the last play, but he returns. The 2 defensive ends. Pass play coming over to Jones. Jones inside the 10 to the 5 and driving. And do they give it to him? They say he's down inches shy of the goal line. Would have been Jones' first touchdown at Texas Stadium since '04.
What execution by the Dallas Cowboys. Tony Romo just has time to get it away because Dwight Freeney, what's the blocks? The kickback block, the kick outside.
Boy, do you think he got in? Let's see. Nope.
No.
Right. Accurate call. Andre Gerard, Kyle Kozar.
Kozar got a nice block.
Yep. And back comes Barber.
See if he quick snaps again.
It's to goal. It's Barber. Barber is in for the touchdown, and the Cowboys have the lead. Now Vanderjagt to make it a 7-point game. And it's good. Barber with 2 rushing touchdowns in this half. 14 unanswered by the Cowboys for the lead. Well, the Cowboys have kept the football 12.5 of the last 14 minutes of this game. Scoring 2 touchdowns to take the lead. Vanderjagt, the kick traveling to the 9. It's Terrence Wilkins, work in the middle. And just across the 30. Running into Jack Reeves. Tonight on 60 Minutes, Broadway, Joe Namath tells his story of his life in football and about a moment on national television that changed his life forever. It's followed by new episodes of The Amazing Race, Cold Case, Without a Trace, tonight on CBS, America's #1 network. Inside of 6 minutes. And the Colts familiar with coming from behind in the fourth quarter. Hit to Rhodes, toss to Rhodes, and beautifully defended by Brady James. The loss of a yard. Manning today, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. He had only 3 interceptions on the season coming in. Pressure coming in, pass, snared out of the air. Look at Wayne spin away and pick up the first. Got away from Anthony Henry for 16 yards.
He's double covered on the outside. Peyton Manning throws it in a nice position where he's going to give his guy, Reggie Wayne, a chance to catch it, and he attacks the football, snatches it out of the air, and he gets a couple extra yards.
Henry shaken up earlier in this half, but returning and yielding that catch and the first down. They'll dive back in. They fake to him. They're going long. And the catch is made. That's the first play for over 25 yards by the Colts offense in 155 snaps. Goes for 38.
Well, this time it's Marvin Harrison did it. You saw the move off the line of scrimmage. He went fake to the outside, and then when he came inside, it catches Terrence Newman off guard, and also Roy Williams, who should have been over the top, helping out, too late getting there.
Inside the 20. Still with 4 on the play clock. Manning now in a hurry. A fake pass. And a whistle first. A whistle first. They bring it to a close. It was caught by UTEC, but of no matter.
Bill Parcells threw his red flag.
Boy, the red challenge flag.
Before the next snap, Dallas is challenging and ruling on the field of the completed pass.
Boy, even if he doesn't win the challenge, the red flag paid off. UTEC was able to grab that one, and the defenders, everyone's still playing it out as though they had not heard the whistle, ruling it dead.
Well, they're going back. Marvin Harrison being brought to the ground by a defender. He's got to hold on to this football the whole time.
No indication at that end that there was anything other than a clean catch. Let's see this one when he turns around.
Well, it doesn't matter as long as it never hits the ground.
Doesn't appear to at all. Well, it does not look like a winning challenge on the way.
Yeah, and that could be a calculated move by Bill Parcells. That's where he was hoping for it. It hit the ground there, Jim, but it does not look like it. And it's not a bad spot, even if you don't win it. So you waste the timeout, you break the momentum of the Indianapolis Colts offense, and you let your defense rest up.
It's not the first time that Bill Parcells has had to think a time or two about something involving Marvin Harrison when he was the coach of the Patriots back in 1996. He brought Harrison in to Foxborough, took a look at him, and thought for a long time about drafting him. They had the 7th overall pick in that draft, and what a prolific draft it was for receivers. He ended up taking Terry Glenn. Harrison went 19th to the Colts.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field stands, and Dallas is charged with first timeout.
Jim Nantz and Phil Simms here at Texas Stadium. I'd like to welcome those of you who've just joined us here. Peyton Manning and the Colts trying to drive to tie this game inside of 4 minutes remaining. And a reminder that 60 Minutes is coming up next, except on the West Coast, with Broadway Joe. You know him well. Coming up.
Know him well. Good golfer. Joe Namath brought, what's the word for it? Brought a lot of style to being a quarterback.
So first down from the 16. Cowboys lose a timeout, losing the challenge. They have one timeout remaining. Colts have all three. The swing pass, it's a dive. And he tiptoes inside the 10, out of bounds at the 9. Goes for 7. Well, these Colts just keep finding ways to fight back and win close games. They're 9-0, but their average margin of victory is under 7 points a game.
They keep coming, Jim. We talked about it. They're always on the attack.
Second down and 3 inside the 10. And a dive. Stopped after a gain of 1 by Adele.
I have no doubt if the Colts do not make it here, they will go for it on 4th down.
Third and 2 to go. Takes right, looks middle, lobs it up high, and it's incomplete. Looking for Ben Utek with Roy Williams back on defense.
Terrence Newman is the one that makes it happen. He stops the double move to the right side. The outlet receiver is Ben Utek down the middle. Dallas is not fooled.
And it is 4th down, and they're quickly back to the line. Not allowing that defense time to adjust or create a shift change. Manning, well protected this time, fires, and it's through the back of the end zone. The Cowboys will take over on downs. Manning wanted a flag.
Well, if you're Peyton Manning, there was contact in the end zone. But the 2 receivers he is looking at to his left, they are both covered. Dallas Clark going to the back. Reggie Wayne coming underneath. The contact that had happened before he let it go, maybe so. Reggie Wayne coming short, Dallas Clark in the back. There is nowhere for Peyton Manning to throw it.
Romo and the Cowboys take over at the 8.
Now can you manufacture first downs? That's what they want to do, of course.
Again, that run defense makes some plays. Not here. It's Marion Barber getting all the way out to the 28 with a flag. A face mask on the way. Jason Witten helped free him.
Personal foul, face mask, defense number 28, 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
Marlon Jackson, safety, comes in. Actually, each of them are grabbing the face mask, but what that does, immediately it turns field position completely around for the Dallas Cowboys.
They go from the 8 to the 43. And this Indy defense has been on the field
a lot, yes.
A whole lot.
You made a point of it, what, 12.5 minutes of the last 14 before that Colts drive. Doing Peyton Manning, Tony Romo, 17 of 21. after a rough start, he has been nothing short of magnificent in the second half.
He's still staying with Barber instead of Jones. Play action, and Romo lobs it up high, and it's caught by Fasano, the rookie tight end from Notre Dame.
What a play by Tony Romo. He makes the fake, and he is full sprinting after he makes it because he knows Dwight Freeney is coming behind him. And Anthony Fasano doesn't panic. I thought it was going to be an overthrow at first, but he keeps his arms down and runs through the football and makes a tough catch.
22 yards for the rookie, his longest catch of the season. And Tony Dungy's having a word with the officials.
I was so busy watching Tony Romo just sprint out of the pocket. Did Anthony Fasano make the catch?
Indianapolis is challenging the ruling on the field with the runner down by contact.
Well, this could be interesting. He catches it. There's a touch. He is down by contact because what they're saying, Anthony Fasano gets up, lays the football on the ground, and the Colts pick it up. There's contact as he's going down to the ground.
Yeah, it's Harper.
It's a good shot. You said it, Jim. Nick Harper definitely touches him on the way down. Well, that is going. Fasano, he hits the turf.
Well, what are they really challenging here? Just the spot.
No, Jim, when he got up, he put the football down. The Colts picked it up and said he was never touched down.
Gotcha.
It's our football. And if the replay shows that it's a fumble, possession is free, and clearly the other team picks it up, the Colts could win this challenge. But we have already shown a couple angles.
Pretty clear evidence
where he is down.
I love these challenges when you actually root against your team having made a play. So Harper touched him on the way down, but Manning's ready to go just in case with the helmet. You know, one thing about, while we have a little moment here during the challenge, is Indy attempts to keep the undefeated season going. Even Peyton Manning said it had been a quiet season for us. You know, close games, pulling out these wins, but with Chicago running with them step for step until a couple of weeks ago, by and large, it had felt like a quiet season for this team. Certainly the talk.
During the play, the runner was down by contact. The ruling on the field stands. Indianapolis charged for first timeout.
All the talk started to pick up the past 2 weeks after the Bears lost about can they do this undefeated season thing again.
And there he is. Anthony Fasano throws the football down.
You see Jason David went over to pick it up.
And that's what the Colts were challenging.
So the Cowboys will have it at the 36 with 2:20 to go.
You're right when you talk about the Colts, Jim. They downplay everything. The unbeaten record. They keep it low key. They don't do a lot of interviews. They focus on what they're trying to do. It's just one of the many, many reasons why they've had such great regular seasons the last 2 years.
Barber. And Barber stacked up after about a 3-yard gain. But we talked to Dungy last night about what was his approach be, you know, if they get into December still undefeated. It's still about the division of the conference, the big picture. It's not about undefeated.
Well, a 100-yard race. They don't declare a winner after 40, right?
That's right. One thing about that challenge, and it did cost the Colts, of course, a timeout. They have one left.
Yep, but it's okay. It cost them a timeout. It stopped the clock. They have the 2-minute warning and one more, so it's still good use of the timeouts.
So Barber, again, banging straight ahead for 2. And now another quick timeout. Colts used their last one. But Dungy's saying, when we asked him, would your strategy change this year if you got to the point like it did last year, you had basically everything tied up by the time you went against San Diego in mid-December. And he said, you know, not really. We're not into building false goals around here. And it's just not an enticement for our guys. It's for us, it's going to be about the playoffs.
And, you know, and I've mentioned that to a few people. They go, you're kidding. It's such a fine line. If they played everybody last year to go for the undefeated season, they lose in the first round of the playoffs, well, you should have rested your players. You know, Tom Moore, offensive coordinator for the Indianapolis Colts, he said it best. After the fact, we're all geniuses. And it's the ultimate armchair quarterback question or decision. The Colts convinced they know how to operate their team. I think they've shown us they're pretty good at it, and you got to trust them with their judgment.
Cowboys have brought in Patrick Creighton as a third receiver. The big third down play on the way. First down here would all but close it out. Plus they've got Barber lined up here at the bottom of your screen.
5 wide receivers. Would they try a quarterback draw from this situation?
Romo throws and the catch. Good for the first down. Glenn just across the necessary yardage. And we reach the 2-minute warnings, and the Colts cannot stop it again. We're back here at Texas Stadium, and again, 60 minutes coming up next, except for those of you on the West Coast. Joe Namath tells his story, his life in football and after football. Cowboys can just take a knee now. And this, for Bill Parcells, is one of these. He talked about getting over the hump. The breakthrough win, if you will, that he's desired now in his 4th year with this program. Now, they've got to come back in 4 days and play again on Thanksgiving against Tampa. But this is a monumental step for what Parcells is trying to achieve here in Dallas.
Yeah, he's trying to get on a run. That's what it is. Separate a little bit. Now this makes them 6-4. Tony Romo has done what he has wanted out of by changing quarterbacks. And Jim, if you watched him here today, once he got used to the speed and the pass pressure by the Indianapolis Colts, Tony Romo was almost perfect, especially the last 3 times they had the football.
Well, last week he completed his last 10 attempts. Today he completes his last 9 passes. You saw Staubach won in his first start at Texas Stadium. It was the first game at Texas Stadium. Aikman lost in his Texas Stadium debut, but Romo is going to be a winner today.
Well, you can see the players, their reaction, even the crowd. They haven't left. They're still here. They know that this maybe gives the Dallas Cowboys a chance to get to where they want to go, to get them started in that direction. That's what it is. Just a good start.
One more snap, and what's that tradition down in Miami? The old 72 Dolphins will be gathering tonight, popping a little champagne.
Pop that champagne.
The Cowboys hand the Colts their first loss of the season. Manning and Romo, they were 1-2 in the quarterback ratings coming in, and Romo's was higher today. $14 unanswered to close it out for Dallas on Marion Barber touchdown plunges. For Phil Simms, this is Jim Nantz saying so long from Texas Stadium. The final score is 21-14. Dallas. 60 minutes is coming.